And welcome to In the Mouth of Monster. I'm your host, Monster Dugan, and with me as usual is my co-host, Gloria Jean Movie Queen. How are you doing
Hi,
today?
I'm doing great. I'm just real excited about this podcast, talking to our two guests. Totally excited about the upcoming festival.
In our future interview here, we're going to be talking to our guests, Dineta Williams-Trigg and Gauthier Raad, who run the Night of Misfit Film Festival, which is happening by the time this episode is published, about a week afterwards. But I highly suggest you give this a watch and, attend the festival or, help out in any way possible. It's a fantastic festival. I can't wait to get there and see them as well.
Yeah.
It's always like a big party. So, it's so
And
much.
that's where I met this guy too.
Yeah, that's where I met you last year, and we connected.
Now
And
we're made a movie together.
yeah. Now we did a movie, and we're doing a podcast. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I recommend if you can't go all 3 nights, pick a night to go. If you don't go all three, you should. You should. It's a
yeah, they
great way
do.
to get away from family.
Right, yeah, because it's basically the weekend after Thanksgiving. So if you want to
Yeah.
escape, go for it. They play
Yeah.
horror and sci-fi on one night, I think Fridays, and then I think Saturdays is like drama and comedy, and then Sundays is usually international.
International.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shorts and stuff. So
It's
it's a fantastic festival and really fun. And these
yeah.
two are a pair, and it's gonna be fun talking to these guys.
Is it at the All One House again?
Yeah, at the All One House.
Yeah, it's outdoors, guys. It's so beautiful. There's so many beautiful lights, and it's
And
outdoors. It's very nice. You got to wear a nice jacket,
yeah,
and
it's like an art center, a center for art.
yeah.
So it has
So it's going to be indoor and outdoor, but the films are showed outdoor, and it's just very, very. It's kind of intimate, kind of, right? But it's still very
definitely.
crowded.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of people that are, it's always packed.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun
Yeah,
time.
it's definitely a one to put on your checklist. I went last year just on a whim. I just was I should go. Something told me I should go, and it was a good thing. So it's one you want to check off of your list of festivals to go to
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
a lot of people to meet and connect with, so it's very good for networking. It's a great
Yeah,
networking place. All right, so enough
yeah.
of our BS here. We talked your ears off last time, so we're going to cut it short a little bit here, and we're going to head into the Average Joe report with my buddy, world famous tattoo artist Joe Guillermo, and so we'll
Oh,
be right back. Me and him always review a film, so we're gonna take a break real quick, and we'll be right back with his segment.
The Average Joe Report.
And here with my buddy Joe Guillermo, world famous tattoo artist and Indie Award winning actor. About to head into the Average Joe Report here. And this is a segment where I usually pick out a movie and have Joe go through and watch it and give us his thoughts on it. He's not as into the industry as most of the people you'll see on this podcast here. So that's why we like to get his take as opposed to some of us who are too picky when it comes to movies. So
enjoy horror movies, man.
yeah. So this time around I picked a really fun one. At least we'll get into it here, but at least everybody that I've ever met who's ever watched this film has loved this film. And I'm talking about oh shoot, I forget the year it was, but it's called Black Sheep. And shoot.
Was that a Scottish film?
It was a British film.
Okay.
Why, if you notice some of the language in it, it's they say bugger and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But let me pull up the just want to make sure I got the right year here so people who are watching can check it out. And of course, this is bad podcasting, but if you do want to take a second here, go watch the film, come back, and then join us in on this conversation. There will be some spoilers from this, but this is a 2006 movie, Black Sheep. It's an indie film, and a lot of people do not know about this. But like I said, those who have come across it, for some reason, I haven't met a single person that has not loved this film.
And it's worth the watch.
Yeah, it's a crazy horror comedy. Basically, the plot is it's set in a rural farmland kind of area, and where they herd sheep and whatnot. And basically, there's some scientists doing some experiments on some sheep, and insanity ensues. People get bit. Things start happening. We'll get into that here, but it's a crazy, just wild film. So
Right.
So what are your thoughts on it, man? I'm curious to hear what you think. So
It was fun, man. It was clever. It was a movie I've never seen before. It's not another like rehashed film, you know. They had a good idea. They executed it perfectly. Like the acting was on point, the audio, there was always like a nice ambient audio in the background too, so you didn't have that weird like excessive silence that a lot of indie flicks tend to have.
yeah,
So it was really cool to have that. But other than that, man, it was a fun story. It, I guess, made sense for as much as that movie could make sense. Like they answered all the questions, they kept going with it. Like it was just well made. It was fun. Like, and I've never seen a zombie sheep movie before, so it was cool. But there was that part where the guy that ended up genetically modifying the sheeps and he used his own DNA to create them.
yeah,
And he has that weird relationship with that one sheep.
yeah.
But just kept going back into my head to Jay and Silent Bob with Sean William Scott. He's like, yo, this motherfucker's not one of us.
Yeah, this motherfucker fucked a sheep. And those are the lines from the actual movie. So, but yeah, because that was a weird. Because I didn't remember that part, and so we were watching it, and I was showing it to my mom because I was telling you right before we started recording, I had showed it to my brother this October, and then showed it to my mom just last night so I could refresh on it real quick before we talked about it today. And man, it's that part where it's like he starts to kind of hug the sheep and stuff, and it's like, and he starts caressing it, and you're like, wait a minute, what is this really happening? But you know, as I said, there's going to be some spoilers here. So if you're don't want to hear about this, take a break, go watch it, and come back. You can catch it for free on Tubi. So if that's what you want to do, but
I am grateful that that scene was implied. It
yeah,
wasn't shown.
yes.
Like,
But the thing is that some of them are starting to turn into sheep, and he was as
yeah,
well because he had gotten bit, and that's the whole thing. Is it's so and that's what kind of was the weird part of that aspect of him with that sheep was it wasn't he was human, part human. He was turning into a sheep, so it wasn't necessarily like it's a human with a sheep, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, it was like a human sheep.
still,
I don't know. It was weird.
yeah,
But
it
he was also
the
the one
line.
that supplied the DNA for these like genetically modified zombie sheep. So he was like a whole different kind of sheep zombie, though. Like that final battle, like he gets taken out by a plane propeller and gets back up.
Yeah,
Like that shit was cool, man. Like it was a good movie.
yeah. So basically, there's a part where they find these sheep. They go steal a canister of toxic liquid with some weird looking baby sheep type of thing in it, and there's a guy, he's a vegetarian. He keeps telling you throughout the whole movie. So he comes across, yeah. So he comes across it and he drops it and breaks it, and that little sheep escapes and bites him, and that's what starts the whole infection of everybody. And it bites sheep and it bites other people and stuff. Well, they all start biting each other and whatnot. But yeah, so that kind of leads into the whole part, which is one of the reasons why I love this film, and I think a lot of people love this film. So they transform into giant sheep monsters.
And they look good, dude. Like the special effects were good. Like I was impressed, man. It
Yeah,
almost like the Wolfman and a lot of them when they're like full suits, but like it's still just
exactly. Yeah.
it was cool, man. I really enjoyed it.
And there was that scene too where he does the changing,
Yeah,
like American Werewolf in London. That's
exactly.
yeah.
And it was like a parody to like both vampire or not vampires, but zombies and werewolves, and it was just super cool.
Yeah, it was like a were sheep. So I've never seen that before.
Zombie were sheep.
Yeah, because it starts turning and then it does the whole transformation scene, literally like stolen from right out of
Right. They're very much zombies because there's that scene where they fall down into that pit and the sheep are like plunging themselves down and like, not having any sanctity to preserve your own life is a zombie trait.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They will kill themselves trying to get you.
Oh yeah. Remember when the sheep was they're driving the truck and then there's a sheep inside the cab with the guy, and so he starts biting it and then he jumps
That
back
was
in the
my
truck.
favorite, man. He was cool. I'm real glad he survived at the end there.
Yeah, he jumps in the back of the truck. The one guy jumps in the back of the truck, and then the sheep is driving the truck, and they
Yeah.
all jump off the truck as it goes over the edge, like you said, like a lemming, like a zombie, you know. So
And that's the same cliff that their dad went off of.
yeah, which is the extra side joke.
Right.
He's like, "Oh my god, like that would suck falling off that cliff." He's like, "Yeah, this is the cliff that my dad jumped off of," and you're like, "Yeah, that's bad timing." But
And
yeah,
then that old lady, man, she's just a little badass, like constantly in the background of the whole movie.
did you like the end part that she when she offers her something to eat, the girl?
Yes. Yeah. The basically Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Ooh, these are good." The girl whose name is Experience, which I
Yeah.
thought was funny.
The little hippie vegan girl.
Because we kept forgetting that every time she's like, "Their Experience," and we're like, "Wait a minute, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
her name."
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, "Oh, these are really good," and the old lady's like, "Yeah, yeah, they are." And then the guy whispers in her ear, "Those are sheep's balls." And she's like, "Oh," and spits them out. But yeah, this is just one of those fun ones, man. I don't. It's
Super fun,
just
man. I enjoyed it.
yeah, it's just batshit crazy, and so I mean, but yeah, I love the monsters in it because I think on screen those are some of the best looking monsters
For real.
of all time.
Like those effects were good. The transition was good. Like they made a good movie. And yeah, dude, like kudos to that director and everybody that made onto that movie, man. Like it was all good. And the main character, the younger brother, like first of all, like that whole part in the beginning when his older brother like really fucked him up, like that shit was terrifying. That would fuck anybody up.
Yeah.
Like that was terrifying, man. But he did such a good part of playing that like manic, like anxiety dude that has to little by little get over it and just become the hero throughout it and like literally face his fears. And it was just there was so much into this movie. Like it had morals, it had objectives, it had just all of it, dude. It was very well made.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
dealing with the government and
yeah.
crazy people doing experiments for no reason. And I
And
mean,
then you got the hippies breaking into the lab, and like it's just conspiracies and government and family drama and mental health and just all kinds of crazy
right.
shit. It was cool.
And the fact that there's, I mean, thousands of sheep just
Chasing them the whole time.
that's what's really scary to me in this is, and when I first watched it, that's what really got me was, when all the sheep and like there's the scene where they start trying to break through the door of the one house they're in that they go into for a second, and you're like, and they're like, "What's wrong with these sheep?" And they're like, "Oh, there's so," and then next thing you know, but it's hitting it and hitting it, and then his head busts through, and then they shoot it with the shotgun, and then it pops back up, and they have to shoot it again, and you're like, I mean, just imagine if you had to deal with that many sheep coming at you that were all like that, trying to, and then what's kind of funny is they some of the sheep are good because
Yeah.
they haven't been bitten. So as they go across the land and track here and track there, they're like, are these good ones? Are these bad ones? And then you find out as you go, you'll see some eating people and stuff. And I mean, it gets insane. Yeah, it's just
And then the ridiculousness of it all. And I loved it. It was just a fun ending. Like it was just an easy way to wrap it all up. And I loved it. Like they trapped all the sheep in the barn. And like all of these people gave the sheep bad gas and they're just emitting a ton of methane. And he just throws his Zippo and the barn just like Michael Bay explodes.
yeah, which was so they get a vaccine at some point, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
so they can change the people who have been bitten and turned into were sheep back into it. But how many people do they know have been bitten? They don't know, and they killed all those sheep. And it's like, did you kill real people or?
Right.
I mean, they were transformed, but you have the anti, what do you serum or whatever. So, it's basically you can transform them back. So it's like, were any of those ones that got blown up in that? Were any of them actually humans or not? We don't know. So,
and that's the other thing is like I guess they even mentioned that they didn't have enough to turn everything and everybody back.
yeah.
So that makes sense. I forget about that. Because I was sitting there, right after you said that, I'm like, wait, why did they trap them all just to blow them up if they had the cure? But they didn't have enough of it.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. And then, which is funny because the guy at the end, the main person who you see originally who stole the canister and cracked it and it got bit and started the whole, insanity. That guy, his name's Grant, the character Grant, and at the end, he's the last one they cure, right? And then he's complaining because at one point in it, he ate a rabbit, and he's like, "I ate a rabbit," because the entire film he's telling you he's a vegetarian. He's a so it's like,
and you even see the conflict in him, even when he's a full-on sheep and there's that battle scene, and like it's just funny, and he's just like crying, like I ate a rabbit every time he has a moment of clarity. It's funny.
yeah, he's like he's with the rabbit, and he's like he grabs it, and he's like, "Oh, I'll protect you," and he's like rubbing its head, and he's like, "Oh, I'll protect you, I love you." And then he's like, he has this weird like conflicting look, and then he's like, "Ah," and he eats the damn. He starts eating the rabbit, and you're like, "Oh my god, man!" And the gore in this, I mean, the gore is fantastic. I mean, it's
dude, like the way they were like pulling the flesh and stuff like that, it looked good.
Like when it bit its ear and the earlobe I mean, it literally gets like 5-6 inches down, and it's like, oh, and then he just rips it right off his ear, and it's like, oh man, I mean, some of that stuff, yeah, that's the gore in it. I mean, just it'll. There was the whole part where they're all in the where they get covered in blood and stuff, and it was just like, oh man, it was so much that I almost yeah.
Yeah,
Because they fall down this hole because they've been throwing all the dead, mutations and things down there, and so there's just a mountain of nasty rotted flesh and stuff, and they fall into it, and then it's like, oh man, yeah, it was like it almost makes you want to throw up because it's
dude, everything just starts twisting and turning because you just like,
you hear the squishing and stuff.
Exactly, it's the audio that gets you.
Oh man, yeah, but yeah, I mean that's. So I mean, that's what I was saying. The gore in this is fantastic. I mean, just the monsters, the stuff like that, the pit, like I said, the biting of the ear, even biting of the neck, even the rabbit. When you get the rabbit, you see just like it's stringy and it just pulls off. And it's like, man, they did a fantastic job.
It really did. They made a great movie, man. That was a good one, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so hopefully I can find some as fun to give you next time. But
yeah, dude, I love them all, man. This is fun.
Yeah, I can't promise the next one will be this good, but
okay.
Like
I said, the last that I enjoyed this much was probably Attack of the Killer Donuts. That was a fun ass movie.
Yeah, this one for some reason, man, it's like not a lot of people know about Black Sheep, but the people, like I said, the people that have seen it are just huge fans. Like everybody has been. I mean, that was the first thing you sent me. You were like, man, I loved it, and I was like, and you're like, I can't wait to talk about it. And I'm like, yeah, me neither, because anytime I get a chance to talk about this film with people, it's
so good.
Yeah, there's another one too. I might have you watch at some other point too, called Zombiever, which is kind of in the same.
Yeah. I'm in.
So yeah, it's about a bunch of girls who go out to a cabin, and there turns out to be some zombie beavers that wreak havoc, just like the Black Sheep, essentially. So it's pretty insane.
Have you heard anything about the new horror flick that's in theaters, Thanksgiving or whatnot? I didn't even hear about it, but I saw a trailer for it when I was watching Black Sheep.
Oh yeah, definitely go see it, man. It's the greatest Thanksgiving horror movie you'll ever see.
Dope, dude. Yeah,
I already saw it. The only problem I had with it was, and I have witness to back me up, I guessed who the killer was right as the title sequence came up.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm a huge slasher, that's a slasher movie, and so for me, it's easy to pick out those, those little things here and there that tell you who it is, because I've watched so many of them that's like, it's ingrained in my brain, just so, yeah, I was just like, it's got to be this person, and then I told it to who I was with, and they're like, all right, and then at the end of it, I was like, I was right, literally, 10 minutes in or whatever it was. But yeah, definitely go check that one out, man. That's a fantastic
check it out.
Yeah, definitely for the theaters too. I mean, the gore in that is probably some of the best gore I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw Evil Dead Rise in theaters, and that was pretty good.
Yeah, but that one, it was a little too dark in areas and stuff. You don't get to see as much of the stuff. Like because there's that giant monster thing at the end. Me and my buddy John had done a whole review on this on my other podcast. I do podcast. Nice. But yeah, it's like the use of shadows in it and stuff, they kind of hide things, and so you don't get to see as much. Whereas like in Thanksgiving, it's right out there, right for you to see. Just like Black Sheep here, all the gore in it was right there for you to see. They didn't cut away. They didn't shade any of it with shadows and stuff. They didn't hide any of this gore in Black Sheep. You see it all clear as day. When they show the monsters in Black Sheep, the giant sheep monsters, there are some shadow play in that, but that I understand, because to show a whole giant one, it might look kind of goofy in just a big suit. You know what I mean? But if you do it as in, you have to kind of hide a little bit of it here and there.
But they give it to you in stages so you can construct.
Exactly. Which is kind of what we did with Grimoire when we made Grimoire. How we shot it. We kind of hid the monster as best as we could in certain areas.
It was all implied, and that creates its own level of ominous to it all too. There is something big and bad that we need to be worried about, but you don't know what it is. So your brain is rolling trying to put it all together.
Yeah, because you get to see the giant sheep monsters, but you don't necessarily get to see their lower half.
Yes, because they're just in suits, but they're bipedal. They're walking up on two legs, and
and that scene where the propeller, like you said, takes him out and chops the guy up, and
that was dope, man.
Yeah, it was gory. And then he pops back up, because then they, he kind of turns into, they hit him with the anti venom stuff, and
then he goes back to the sheep to be bit again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this was just a fun one, man. I had to give you something. I knew you were gonna dig it, because like I said, everybody who's ever seen this movie, there's not been one person I've ever seen this that has said it was bad by any means. So
yeah, man, it was super fun. I enjoyed it.
All right, so that's gonna do it here for us at the for the Average Joe Report, and we're gonna take a break real quick here, and we're gonna head into the feature interview segment with my pals Dineta Williams-Trigg and Gauthier Raad, who are doing the Night of Misfit Films Festival here in about a week here, and which I'll be in attendance, and Joe has been in attendance before here, and we'll talk to those guys and get all their all the good stuff on the festival. So stick with us, and we'll be right back.
Thanks again, man. It was always a pleasure. See you next time.
And now for an interview with the monster.
All right, and we're heading into our feature interview today here with a couple of really cool people that me and Gloria both know very well here. We're talking, of course, about Dineta Williams-Trigg and Gauthier Raad. Hope I'm saying Raad right.
Yes.
Okay. There's two A's, so I never know how to. You never know.
It's a trap. It's always a trap. My name and my last name are both traps.
And these two fine folks here run the Night of Misfit Films Festival out here in Arizona, where we all live except for Gauthier here. But they also run a couple other film festivals around the world, which we'll get into here in a little bit too and talk about that. But so thank you guys for joining me. Dineta, thank you for coming on again for the third time. This is the first time we have video, so it's kind of new. So
Thanks for having me. I always try to help you out when I can. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I always try to get you on whenever the podcast is up and running. I've had you on to promote. I had to put it on hold for a little while there as I did my own movie and some books and stuff, which you were so kind to play at your festival, and I was happy to win an audience award first time around. So that was really, really cool.
Yep, we set the bar high.
Yeah, you did.
Now you've been winning awards everywhere.
Nonstop. Yeah, it seems
your film played internationally as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've won I think about 4 or 5 different countries won awards in. So not bad. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, I never thought that would happen, and I wouldn't be there without Dineta telling me, hey,
we can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let me ask, so how did you you guys first well, basically, where are you guys from, and then how did you guys meet up and start this whole relationship between the two of you?
We met in the strip club.
Dineta, come on. That
was working. Which one of you was working?
I was trying to do some money. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. You're trying to make money, mind your own business, Gloria. No, We met at the Phoenix Film Festival, as a matter of fact. So, of course, we're both filmmakers, and I always volunteer every year at the Phoenix Film Festival, and I'm a short filmmaker liaison. So my job is to hang out with filmmakers, let them know where to go, basically party with them. And PA was my liaison, or I was his liaison back in, was it 2016?
2016, right?
2016. And so it's just, our relationship has grown, and we've become business partners and film festivals now, and making movies together. And so it's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
So what made you guys want to hop into creating and running a film festival? Because that's a huge task in itself, just for one. And now you guys are, branching out and doing multiple. And so that's, I don't know. I couldn't do what you guys do, I'll tell you that. But so what made you want to get into the whole film festival, aspect of filming to begin with?
I'm going to answer this. Well, you know what, Donovan? Now we understand that filmmakers everywhere, they need to be heard. Number one, because we're filmmakers. I'm a filmmaker, Dineta's filmmaker, you're a filmmaker. Gloria is in the business a long time ago.
Gloria's in all kinds of films.
Exactly. So we all need to be heard, right? So I think our festival started out of lack of, and I'm just talking in general. And Dineta, if you have anything else, afterwards to add to my answer, you can go ahead and do it. But I think at some point we felt that not everybody was represented. This is not everybody was represented. And what I felt at that point of time, if I feel this, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's feeling this, So this is where we started our film festival, just to, we appreciate all of the events, all of the festivals out there. But, sometimes you need new blood, all the time you need new blood, new ideas. And this is how we started the film festivals. And basically we started the film festivals where we're living, right? The communities, the local communities and international communities have been super supportive to our idea. And this is how, we kept on, just starting new projects, because we felt the support from the community.
Yeah, that's a big thing out here. Especially like you said, a lot of films aren't being played or heard or seen like they should be, and that's why this festival holds a special place in my heart, because you guys actually do play stuff that normally a lot of other festivals won't play. And some of the stuff you guys do play are played at other festivals, but the majority of the stuff screened that I've seen, at least at the Night of Misfit Film Festival, since I haven't been able to attend the other ones yet, but I will at some point.
We're waiting for you.
Yeah. Yes. Hopefully this year I'll be able to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to say, thank you. I appreciate that. And two of you guys, I understand that, with as being filmmakers, that's where it comes from. And, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, I started shooting a film and I thought, well, who's going to watch this? Is anybody going to even play it if I put it out there? What's going to go on with it? And, and this is one of those festivals that, you guys pick up on those certain types of films that, don't get enough attention where they should. And that was just a really special thing to see and to be a part of. So that's why I love your festival so much. And, I've always, like I said, I've had Dineta on here before talking about this. This is the first time we've had Gauthier on here with us. So thank you for coming as well. But yeah, you guys are doing a service out there for people that really need it. And a lot of people are this is like, for me, this was my first time having a film I ever made and directed and spent time on and money and everything. And so to be able to play it in front of not just a few people, but a good amount of people, because their festival is packed. It's packed full every time. So it's just a fantastic thing. So yeah. And as filmmakers, so I want to ask you, I know this is getting into it a little bit, but what happened with your filmmaking and stuff that made you want to make your own film festival to play stuff? because I would assume you guys probably had a little bit of trouble, as I have had with my film in certain areas as well. So, if you could enlighten us a little on why you guys decided to kind of do that.
Yeah, hey, I'll speak up. Gloria, you wanted to say something earlier. What did you want to
Oh,
say?
I got a quick question. It's a silly
Yes,
question,
go
but maybe not that silly. Okay, Misfit. Where did you guys get the name?
So
Who came
Misfit,
up with the name?
at Christmas time, Santa goes to the island of Misfit toys.
My favorites.
Yes, and so I've always felt like a misfit. I've always felt like a freak, always, and we creatives do, because the term imposter syndrome, I suffer from that all the time. Like, am I supposed to be doing this? Do my films suck? Do I suck? So Night of Misfit Films came from submitting my first film, Aunties, which is like 11 and a half minutes, almost 12 minutes. And I spent a lot of money submitting, because I think that young filmmakers don't understand that the film is not the end. Yes, you get it made, but what comes after? Your ultimate goal is to have distribution, right? You want millions of eyes on your film. But I was really just feeling the imposter syndrome and really sad and sitting on my sofa. And I think I had like a pint of ice cream that I was eating, and I was sort of sobbing into it. And, my husband's sitting in another chair. He's just staring at me. And I was just like, I'm really tired of this, because my first film, Aunties, and, it's not the best film. It's my first film. You know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. So I had professionals working on it with me. And I was like, no one really likes my film, and maybe I shouldn't be doing this, and maybe I'm just going to be a number cruncher, for the rest of my life, and I should just be happy with that, right? And my husband John said, well, Dineta, what are you going to do about it? And I said, hey, I'll just start my own film festival. And so that is how A Night of Misfit Films got started, out of that feeling of, wow, am I really that bad? And and then I thought, I can't be the only one. Like Gauthier said earlier, I can't be the only one that feels this way. And so I started talking to people. I just started opening up and talking to other filmmakers, and we all feel the same way. We all feel insane, and
like
I watched a movie called Official Selection, and it's about these two guys that spent $1 million filming a film, and that was for them, low budget. And I think half of that, part of that $1 million was this, submitting it to film festivals, because film festivals aren't cheap,
right?
Submitting. And so they traveled, all over the United States. One of the filmmakers, the movie broke up his marriage because he was traveling all over and all the trouble. I mean, they literally submitted to a couple of film festivals that never happened, that they were basically, sort of scammed out of. But it was just their experience about, submitting their film festival. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And so the first year, 2016, I just went to people and I said, please, do you have a movie that I can screen at this film festival? I won't charge you submission fee. Just please let me screen it, and fortunately I had people that trusted me enough that let me screen it. And it was just in a little tiny theater, tried to, make it exciting and have food and drink there for everyone. And then it was one night. And then the next year it was 2 nights.
Wow.
And now, the year after that, it's 3 nights. So, if I could, when people ask me, I always tell them that, I'm not special. I'm not special. Anyone can do what Gauthier and I do, but you have to have some money, right? And you have to have the ability to just put your nose to the grindstone and make it happen. Because when you're dealing with filmmakers, we're filmmakers, and Gloria is an actor. We know how to deal with each other. And it's still sometimes surprising. It's like, really? Did you really just ask me that question? You're a filmmaker. You should know better, But it's still, it gives us, I think that the fact that we're filmmakers, it gives us that in to be like, okay, you know what? I'm a filmmaker, so I know where you're coming from. But the answer is still no. It's hell no.
Well, that's a great story. That kind of sums up actually, what Donovan was asking, and it accidentally it kind of answered that question. And I kind of thought that. I was thinking, you know what? I bet you they named it after those Misfit toys on,
Yeah.
on Rudolph, which are like the coolest toys, like train with square wheels, you know?
Mm.
And the ones are good. They're getting better and better every year. It's amazing. It's amazing because sometimes when you use the word misfit, people think, oh, excuse me, oh, they're bad. You know, they're bad films. No, they're not bad films. They're not bad films. Some of them are unusual, but they're not bad in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
And I can attest to that because I'm watching all those films. I mean, I haven't seen a bad one out of all of those that you guys have picked. So, and that's
You're gonna love them this year. You're gonna love them this year, Gloria.
yeah, that's hard to
You're
do
gonna-
too because there are some not so good films out there. So, you know, kudos to you guys for picking some really, really good, clever ones. Like, what was that one I saw last year, or maybe it was even just recently, in the few months ago, with the were they using their hands as guns to shoot?
That was a good
Yeah,
one.
Man, that was
Yeah,
fantastic. You know, so I you know, kudos to you guys for picking
Yeah.
some fantastic films to screen and watch.
Yeah.
So many good ones, and so diverse, all of them. I mean, they just, everything was different, so many different themes, so many different ideas. I was blown away that, you know, there was so many. Like, when you're an actor, you know, you just you don't, you hope to be fortunate enough to be in one of those types of movies someday, you know what I mean? And myself is growing into those different roles finally, you know, I'm glad about that. But yeah, those are just, they were so also different from the next and the next. They were just, the range was amazing.
The world is a big place, and there are all different kinds of people in the world. And I'm sorry, but I'm really tired of seeing the blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy and blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl fall in love and then break up and then get back together. There's so many different types of stories, and I want to tell them all. And you know, I'm a fat Black woman. Gauthier is a French Lebanese man, and you know, even our stories are different but the same. And you know what I mean? You know, Donovan, where you come from, and Gloria, where you come from, we all have a story, and they're all beautiful, beautiful stories. And I want to be able to give as many people as possible the opportunity to share their story. You know, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I loved the festival. I think last year was my first year, I think, and I just went on a whim by myself because I go everywhere by myself. I just go everywhere. I'll just pop in, hey, you know. But I was so glad that I went, you know, because I was like, it takes courage too to go by yourself to these things, you know, and just like maybe sit by yourself. And that's where I met Donovan. It was like we were friends on Facebook, but that's the first time we met in person. And then also with you, Gauthier, that's the first time I have ever met you in person.
Yeah.
You know, I had met you throughout the years, you know, but then I took a big break. But it was, I just felt like really like safe and at home and comfortable and entertained, and like it was just a valuable experience. It was just like very, you know, it's different.
Yeah. You know,
Gloria, when you got there, when you got there, you knew everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were alone, right? Because you knew everyone. You knew a lot of people that were there. So that's what I tell people. When you come, you're going to know somebody there. If that's just one person, you're going to know one person. So that's the whole point. I think Gauthier and I really try hard at making everyone feel comfortable and that they're a part of. And we both get out there and we introduce people around, and we, you know, talk to people, because there's nothing worse than going to a film festival and standing around in the corner. Like that's happened to me, where I stood in the corner and nobody talked to me. I had to make myself go up and talk to people. That's like the worst feeling ever. Yeah, it's the worst feeling ever. So I get out there and I talk to people and I introduce filmmakers, you know, to each other, and then I leave the conversation so they can learn about each other. So
that's
Which
awesome.
I appreciate that. You've done that with me a few times, and that was I really appreciate that. So that's something you guys do there that I haven't seen at other film festivals. I haven't been to many myself, but the ones I have been to, I haven't seen anybody introducing people to other people. So you guys go above and beyond with that, you know.
And I want to
inclusion, you know.
Yeah, I want to add something. So we make it feel that everything is easy, but we do our best. We don't do our film festivals, you know, at a movie theater, because feeling that Gloria, you were talking about, this feeling of, involvement and engaged and, safe and, just talking, everybody's talking to each other. We do our best not to do the film festivals in like a real movie theater, because with all due respect to everybody, but it's so, there's no soul, in doing this, because it's big, and I don't know them, if I go there, I know nobody, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit alone, so we really spend a lot of time, technically preparing for the festival, so that, it's kind of, it's only a screening, right? We're gonna go there, we're gonna meet, we're gonna talk, we're gonna, it's not, network, talk to each other. Like I want to meet everybody. I want to, I try to do my best to, just talk to everybody, because this is, I think, one of our goals, not only to show movies, but, to just make people, comfortable around each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And that must be hard, because you're like, your mind is turning, am I on task to what I need to do, and yet still meet people and, have people not feel like, wow, you know what I mean? Like if you're hosting a birthday party for your kid and you don't get to talk to people because you're like, I got to get the cake, I got to get this, I got to get that, it's your baby. This thing is your baby,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also called delegation. So we have, a really nice group of volunteers that kind of know what they're doing. Well, not kind of, but do know.
Oh, they do know what they're doing. Yeah, they know.
Know what they're doing. And so
Very
we
good.
leave them to do their task, which
Mhm.
allows us to be out sort of meeting people and because it's a networking event for Gauthier and I as well. You know what I mean? We're networking, we're trying to get funds, raise funds for more film festivals. So it gives us the opportunity to do that. So I am really thankful for the volunteers, that I have this year. They're returning. A lot of them have been 3 or 4 years have been with us at a night of Misfit Film. So I'm really grateful for them.
That's awesome. How about how many do you have approximately, returning volunteers that have been,
I
since
have
the
about
beginning?
close to 10 of them.
Oh, that's good.
The Alwyn House is small. I don't think I need any more than about 10.
Yeah, that's good.
And they're wonderful. And I try to take care of them. I feed them. Gauthier and I feed them. We took them out to lunch a couple of weeks ago just to say thank you for being there
That's
for
awesome.
us. So because I want them to know that I do appreciate them. And so we try our best, and they're happy to be there. They want to be there. You know what I mean? I let them drink. I tell them, hey, have a drink. Eat. Because the caterer's there. Eat, drink. Just have fun as well. It's talk to people. Talk to filmmakers. I want them to have an experience as well as our guests, as our filmmakers. We definitely want them to have a wonderful experience, right? Because it's not about
No, and it's good networking, because when I met Donovan there, then he put me as a voiceover in his film. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So when you go to these places, you don't go hoping that, I hope somebody puts me in something. You just go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just go to have a good, at least that's why I go. And you just go to have a great time. And by having a great time, that's how you meet the right people.
Exactly.
Without a motive, just
Yeah.
enjoying. So yeah.
All right. Now I wanted to ask this to Gauthier. So so now you do the film festival in Paris, France.
Yeah.
You do your own festival there. Did you create that with before Dineta? And did you guys just like merge those two, or did you create that after meeting Dineta and doing all this, or?
So Dineta's film festival is the oldest. And then a few months later, I got the opportunity to create and manage the one in Lebanon. And then 2 years later, we decided to create a film festival in Paris, because I was, again, it's the same story. I was living in Paris, and I'm like, I felt really disconnected from any film community, right? Even though I was working in the media, I was doing, I was working there, but I'm like, where's the community? Where are my people? Where are, so, and then I was thinking as well about something new, I'm like, we're in Paris, but I don't see a lot of film festivals and events about like fantasy, right? Like sci-fi fantasy, drama fantasy, because fantasy is big, it's big. And then what I like about, and then we created the one in France. What I like about our collaboration, Dineta and I, is that we never sat like back in 2016 and said this is what we're gonna do. Everything evolved all together. It happened
organically.
Yeah, we are
organically.
Yeah.
exactly. We are creators, so
That's
each
the
time we
best
would
way.
talk, you're like, hey, do you want to come? Let's do this together. Let's do that together. And we're to be able to do something. All you have to do is to jump. Sometimes you gotta jump into the unknown, right? Sometimes you gotta be consistent, of course. But we decided to take the risk, and what's the worst scenario? We stopped doing it, right? But it's interesting how in the 4 different countries that we go to, all filmmakers are like, we need you, we want you, we need you, we love what you're doing, just because we never did it for the money, we never, our goal and our, it's like, we're so innocent. We just wanted to, connect to other, to connect to other filmmakers, to have fun with, our community, so this is why everything, worked out, because we were never after the money. We would like in the future, we would adore to have some money. Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time,
A lot of work
spent on, the infrastructure of the websites, the digital media, the film freeways, the filmmakers, it's really a lot. And then the event in itself. But what I love about our story is that, we never did it for the money or for like an ego or to get famous, I don't care. Yeah. So this is how it happened, step by step. And we're just, trying. We just try and learn.
And so now you guys have expanded out. You were talking about 4 of them. So now you guys have expanded out to Canada as well. So
yeah.
And that is under the umbrella of the We Film Festival that you guys have started. Now, can you tell us a little bit about that and how you guys came about that and got that going?
Okay. Who do you want? Dineta, do you want to answer the question?
Go for it, Gauthier. Go for it.
So we started doing many festivals, and so we have Phoenix, we have Beirut, Lebanon, we have Paris, France, we have Montreal, Canada, and guess what? 2024 we have Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh,
yeah. I always wanted to go back there.
Yeah. So so what we were talking about, because we're the same team, like we're the same core team, Dineta, John, myself, and sometimes our editor join us, like for 2 festivals, so a lot of people are the same people working with us, and we're like, what, let's just try as much as we can to just work under one umbrella, one team, one umbrella. Let's try to drive the traffic, the audiences to one page. Let's try to connect these people together, because our goal at the end of the day is to be able to connect these people together. And your film, Donovan, let your film be shown in Canada. Let your film show, at least, what we get, it's beautiful to, because it's hard, as you were saying in the beginning, it's hard to get your film selected at film festivals, and this is what everybody says. I'm not saying something that you don't know. We created so we can make it easier for you that your film, will be shown in different countries, because your film, deserves to be shown in other countries. And it doesn't matter if you do not know people there, but because we know you and we know your film, we're gonna do our best to bring your film to other countries as well. So, it's all about connection. It's showing people that we're, going from our local community to like, an international one that is kind of, interconnected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really nice to say that, hey, my film's been internationally shown. You know what I mean? That's like that's kind of an ego booster. And for other people who are interested in seeing your film, when you can say, hey, my film has shown in Paris, France, you know what I mean? My film has shown in Beirut, Lebanon. My film has shown in Montreal, Canada. It's still, you know what I mean? It just, I think it makes more people interested in your film as well. So yeah.
Did you guys find like your communities on all these places? Do you have like so many different communities that you've built, like with the soul of the festival that's not just in the theater? Do you guys have like a lot of little pods of like community now from these places that you've built your other festivals?
I think so. I think so. It's interesting for me, as an American going to foreign countries, because it's like I'm learning slowly but surely what I can say out loud and what I need to keep, what I need to keep.
I confirm it. I confirm it.
So, it's a learning experience for me as well. But, everywhere I go, I feel like people have, embraced me. They've welcomed me. I don't feel like people have been, mistreated me. And so I want to make sure that, Gauthier being here in the US, that, we embrace him as well and make him always feel like, he's a part of, our community. Because that's, I think the most important thing is to just have everyone feel like they're included. We want to be inclusive. At least that's where I'm coming from. So
can I say a joke? I'm not gonna say the whole joke, but I'm just gonna say something that happened with us like a month ago. We were at an airport. I'm not gonna say where. Not in the U.S. In an international airport. And then Dineta decided to talk to the agent, security agent. And she said something I don't believe that they appreciated. And then they just acted like he did not hear what she said. And then Dineta, what she did, she's like, oh, he didn't hear me. So she said it again. And I had to step in.
All I did was refer to his skin color because he looked like me. And I said, you look like me. You look like me. But, I have to remember that I'm not in the US and that people don't understand sometimes what I'm saying. And to them, it's a negative where that's not my intent.
Right.
Negative,
Yeah.
Right. It's just my culture and my upbringing. But I'm just learning, I'm learning to be quiet. That's all.
You know what they say,
Shut up, that's all.
No, me too. You know what I heard somewhere, somebody said, and I don't know what this is, but they said the darker the skin, the warmer the culture. Like my mother's from Mexico, right? My grandfather and grandmother on my mom's side are both from Mexico, and they crossed the border in 1915, right? And so my mom, she goes up to everybody. She's like, "Are we related?" Hi, and hugs, and like, so now you know where I got some of that from. I'm just, you know what I mean? My dad is like Scottish, English, whatever, and my mother is the Hispanic, and I've got that little quirky blend. But I'm the same way. I'm just very like boisterous and happy, and like, oh, I think everybody's as happy as me, and it's just not the case all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
It's hard.
Right.
But you got to be yourself. So,
Yeah.
Well, I think I can be myself too much. So
I'm with you. I do the same thing.
I need to bring it down a little. That's all.
That's a good one.
But yeah, you guys is the festival is I've only been to the Night of Misfit Films Festival, but it feels like a family when you're in there, like everybody knows everybody. Everybody's just there to have a good time. Nobody's giving anybody a hard time. Nothing, like you said, nobody's standing in the corner by themselves. Everybody's talking and I thought it was this is a little different. I mean, I went to a film festival where they had a dinner afterwards and stuff, but you know, the fact that you have food and candy and popcorn and stuff like that out there for free for everybody, you know,
Well, it's
that
part of your
stuff.
ticket. So it's part of your
Well,
ticket.
yeah, but still, that I mean, that's it's. I'm just saying, it's you know, beyond what other film festivals are doing that I've witnessed, and I've only been to a few, like I said, but you know, but yeah, I appreciate the the inclusiveness of your guys' festival and how you take time to introduce people and to really care about the people and their films, and how Dineta is amazing with remembering every single film and every single filmmaker. I mean, that's a big.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
remember, Gauthier and I were talking about that today, about how I met someone literally turned away from them, turned back to look at them and could not remember their name. So it's a game. It's a game for me because it teaches me, okay, this is so-and-so, let me introduce them. And I go through the names all again to remember. So it's a training my brain game. So I have a hidden agenda for that.
Oh, keep it hidden.
It's keeping me remembering everyone. You know what I mean?
That's important. Yeah, that's very important to because I have the same problem. It's hard to remember people's names, and you just have to take that extra minute and say, where do I know that person from? Where did I meet them? And what's our connection? And it's like training, like you said, training your brain. It is hard work.
Yeah.
Super hard.
Yeah, you know, I just, I keep gushing over you guys' stuff, but I just, I really appreciate everything you guys do for the community and for filmmakers and for people like me who never even put out a film until Dineta said, hey, if you got a film, why don't you submit it over here? So I had shot a film, but I hadn't put it together yet. And with her, kind of nudging me and, hey, come do this. And so that got me into my lane where I'm at now, which I really appreciate. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this, which I kind of spearheaded a tiny bit here, but Dineta is really the main spearheader of this. But you have a book out now, a charity book, which everybody here is involved with. Gloria didn't have a story in it, but Gauthier and Dineta and myself all have stories in it. And it's just a charity book to help promote the film festival and get more attention to it, more eyes as well. In a literary sense, which books aren't as big as they used to be. Movies are a lot bigger nowadays, but I thought it would be cool to add something in to where it's not just a film festival. You have other stuff involved as well now too.
That's really cool. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm really proud of the book. Gauthier wrote the foreword. Donovan, you have a great story called "Somebody Stole My Face."
Where's my face? Yeah.
Where's my face? I have the Dead Man's Gifts. Gauthier wrote the foreword as a story called Payday. The book is getting a lot of traction. We got invited up to Cave Creek, to the little haunted Western town, to do live readings while they're doing little haunting tours, and we're hoping that happens sometime next month, right before maybe Christmas time. But I love it, and I love the idea of doing it again for 2024. And bringing on new people. It was interesting because Donovan told me that I needed 40 to 50 stories, and I was sweating, and I was calling everyone that I knew, please.
I've been there and done that, so I know.
Wow.
That's why I kind of passed it on to you this time.
I mean, it opened my eyes to the fact that a lot of filmmakers feel that they're not writers, and I cannot comprehend you writing a script for a film. What's the difference between writing a story, a 1,500 word story, which somebody brought that to one of the French, the cat that's living in Paris, who wrote a story called Robert, Ryan Kay, said it's 2 pages. It's literally 1,500 words is literally 2 pages. And I started using that when I was approaching other people. It's 2 pages. You can't write 2 pages. Some people, I think, were fearful. I really do. I think they hid behind their fear. And I'm so proud of Gauthier and I, and Donovan, you've been doing it for a long time. So you're like my mentor when it comes to writing for these. But it's like, I was shocked. Finally, we were able to get enough stories together to put together the book. And I was shocked at how good those stories are that people put together. So
are they scary? Are they scary stories or just stories?
They tend to lean towards sort of, scary, mystical, thriller,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
horror.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's from Red K Publishing, and basically all they do is horror. So I mean, they do a little action and some stuff like that, but they don't get into the drama or the comedy stuff
Yeah.
to keep
Yeah.
it dark and twisted.
Yeah.
I figure, Night of Misfit Films, there's a lot of dark films in there, whether they're even
Oh yeah.
dramas or whatever. There's a lot of dark content in there, and I
Yeah.
figured, this, and like you said, it would give people an opportunity that haven't been published to be published, like Gauthier there, So it was, it was just a nice all around kind of thing. And yeah, it's I'd been through this rodeo before, so when I told you about 50 stories, I was telling you hi, so that way
Yes.
you the right amount, and you did.
That's right.
So yeah, it's like pulling. It's like pulling teeth. It's so hard to
It
get
is.
people to put that stuff in there, but once you do, it's all for a great cause, all for charity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I put out a couple other charity books too that benefit some stuff. One of them benefits Mulligan's Manor out here in Arizona, which is a youth home for LGBT plus youths that have been neglected and have hard lives and don't have anywhere to go. So, and yours was Unbridled Pathways, which I thought was a great charity as well. That teaches people how to communicate better, which is basically what your guys' film festivals are all about. So it kind of ties into all that. And
yeah. I was really, and I know Leanne Gardner, who spearheads Unbridled Pathways, was very, very touched and very grateful, because she's told me several times how grateful she was just for us to pick her out. And I met her at like a women's conference, right? And so, our paths have kept crossing, and I was like, oh, well, she would be perfect, if I can't give the money to myself. She would be
handling, a little handling fee.
Exactly. And I know that I'm really proud of Gauthier for getting outside of the box, and I'm proud of the other writers as well, because they told me the same thing. They said we were nervous, but we got outside the box and we feel so much better. And I'm just proud of them, and I'm proud of the book. And I will have several copies at the film festival for everybody all the authors to sign, so that we can sell them. I bought them myself so that I can sell them and have them all signed by the authors. So Donovan, I definitely want you to sign your story so that we can sell them. I have like 18 copies. So
that's good.
Yeah, I just figured, it's a good way to get more people, to know what the film festival is. That's why we put the logo on the front and everything as well. So that way people are more, they go, oh, well, this is of stories. Well, they have a whole thing of films. Let me check that out,
Yeah.
So, just to get basically anything to help out, anybody. I always try to help out anywhere I can. And so, putting something together like that it really meant a lot to me to help you, and like I said, can give the money to you. But I'm hoping by putting this out there that people will notice your guys and want to help you out more and stuff. Because if anybody does deserve to get the money, it's you guys. You guys do so much work that you guys deserve to start getting paid for all this and to really take off.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, it's already taken off. I mean, if you're already planning on adding another one, another film festival now. So hey, I mean, you're going to New Mexico now. You guys are really starting to take off. So, and I don't envy you at all, because it is one hell of a task to do all of that. So,
is it going to be the same, like the same name, or in Albuquerque, like a different name?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they all have different names.
They'll all go under the we.
Yes, they'll be under. Yeah. They have different names because you know what? They have different flavors, all of them. They have such different flavors that they all have to have their own. They're separate entities under one umbrella. So you know what I mean?
That's cool. I want to go to Albuquerque. I want to check it out for sure.
Yeah,
I like New Mexico.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we're getting close to wrapping up here, I want to ask you guys. So, do you guys have any plans for making any more films? Either one of you. I know we saw Gauthier's film at the last film festival.
Yeah,
man, that that was a hilarious comedy. Let me tell you.
Which one was it? Which one was it?
Love Me Tender.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
There's some really funny scenes in there.
And all of it are true. You know, all of these scenes are true. It happened with like either myself or my friends. So
Oh my God, that's funny.
yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
But so do either one of you guys have plans on making more films, and are you going to show any more at your film festivals that, for us, people like us who want to see your guys' stuff as well?
We'll probably have something ready for 2024.
Yeah.
And Gauthier is a vampire, so he's a vampire.
Guilty.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do a lot of acting, Gauthier, but you sure have the looks for it. So
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I haven't, I've been always behind the camera, but why not? Why not? And then
Hey,
I will not be a very good vampire. So be
He's a
careful.
monster. He's a monster.
as long as you suck,
Yeah, well,
Oh no.
a little
well,
pun there. Sorry.
people will be dead. Trust me.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah.
And so what about you, Miss Williams there, Miss Williams-Trigg? Do you have any other stuff you plan on doing anymore?
Just the film festivals. Gauthier and I are going to work on a stage play.
Nice.
Hopefully it gets put up. We have the opportunity to have people sit around and we do a table read of it to see how it feels.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited about that, because to be invited in to go, okay, write a play for us and we will see about putting it up. We'll definitely do, a table read for it to fill it out and everything. So another creative, opportunity for us. We're always looking for other things to do and to expand our brand. So, I'll direct the vampire. We'll make it very simple, but effective. And my job as a filmmaker is to make you feel something. So whether you hated it, you loved it, you cried, I made you have an emotion. So, an emotion. So that's, my job as a filmmaker. But yeah. I'm happy to get back behind the camera. I appreciate being behind the camera, and I started in front of the camera, but I appreciate being behind the camera more, I think. The more
I do. I definitely do. I love being behind the camera. That's my spot.
My ideas, and I'm willing to listen to my crew with their ideas, but what I love about directing is I still get to make the final decision, me along with the producer, of course. But that's what I like about it most. And if I want to cast myself, I'll just cast myself, right?
Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
As we head in, because you're going to have this Night of a Misfit Films here festival in about a week here. So as you head into it, what do you have in store for fans? What can they be looking out for? You guys, what kind of films do you have, and what are you guys looking to put out there this year?
Okay, why don't you talk about the workshops, Gauthier?
Yeah. So this year we what typically happens is each year we try to get something new, do something new. This year we have judges for a script competition. So there are 3: Gloria, Adolfo, and Laura. So this is something new, and we're giving it its time. So they are going to have one-on-one. They are reading scripts right now, and they are going to have a one-on-one, kind of appointment, and talk with the script writers who are going to show up to the festival. This is first. And second, what we're doing 2 workshops, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. The first one is with filmmaker Adolfo Navarro.
Fantastic filmmaker.
Yeah, he's going to talk about, because he does a lot of film challenges, right?
Definitely.
And he's going to talk about how to do it, how he does it, how he has been doing it for the past decade. So he's giving his workshop. It's really super interesting, telling filmmakers how what's his tricks, about his tricks. And now he started using AI in his films. So this is on Saturday, and on Sunday he is where there's a workshop with 3 French artists. It's filmmaker, producer, and DOP. And they're going to talk about the influence of American cinema on the French cinema, which is interesting, because
that's brilliant.
Exactly. And they are coming all the way from France, and that like these people are really good connections for everybody. I want all the people who are watching us, just come to the workshops and meet everybody and network. You don't know, you may end up 2 years later working with these people on the project somewhere. So yeah, so these are the workshops. The movies are really good. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday international movies. It's everything. We're trying to make it interesting for the filmmakers and for the audiences as well. So they have many things to do, many things to it's like you don't have a second for yourself, or you don't have a second where you're gonna go, oh, I'm bored. There's literally a lot of things all the time. So I invite everybody who's listening to us, watching us, just to show up. And I'm sure we're gonna introduce them. We're gonna introduce them to other artists as well. So yeah, just come and join us.
And then you guys do a lot of cool stuff, like you guys do interviews and everything there too as well. And so I mean,
Right.
it's not just to like you go there and watch movies or anything.
No.
Yeah.
There is, like you said, you don't have a second to sit still. There's so much stuff to do. Everybody, every corner you take, there's somebody's talking, and hey, what's up with the I mean, I after just showing my one film there, I was approached by so many people afterwards that I mean, I had to kind of shy away from certain people here and there because other people wanted to talk, and so I was trying to divert attention here and there and here and there. But yeah, it was fantastic, and I mean you guys are fantastic with the connecting and networking. I met a lot of people there. Adolfo himself, I met at the last one and talked to him, and he's given me a couple of tips already for some things that I didn't know about in filming or had no clue. And so he just, I just asked him, hey, what about this? And he tells me. And so, and like at the last little festival you had, Dineta, and you had everybody get up there, all the directors, and everybody was like, hey, anybody wants to work or find out stuff, just hit me up and ask me. And that's something that I didn't see at any of the other film festivals. I didn't see anybody offering to help anybody else out. And I mean, there were connections being made and stuff, but at that one, everybody was just like, hey, if you need any information, you want to talk about anything, just ask me. And so, of course, I reached out to Adolfo because I've seen some of his work before, and I know he's a fantastic filmmaker, one of the best in Arizona out here. And so I reached out and asked him a couple of things. And so, yeah, I'm excited for that too. To see his, what he's gotten, his little tips and tricks, because he is just, a brilliant mind. So.
Yeah, both you and Gloria come to his workshop, and Donovan is going to be facilitating our Q&As on Friday night, because I have people coming Friday night from New Mexico, from Canada, that have films. So Donovan's going to stay and facilitate the Q&A. He's going to stay Saturday night and facilitate the Q&A because it's important. That gives you a chance, Donovan, again to talk to the filmmakers. Exactly. And that keeps, it'll be at night, it'll be late, so I'll be tired. I mean, brain dead. I'll probably be over in the corner by myself. Just
oh, you guys are always wiped out after. That's why I say I don't envy you when it comes to putting those on and doing that, because it is a lot of work, a lot of work,
but it's fun, and it's and it's worth it. And so yeah, let's just everybody hang out and just have a good time. Let's support both of the workshops on Saturday and Sunday. Eva Lewis will be there back doing red carpet interviews. Gauthier will be in the basement doing interviews. Friday night will be Moni Love, who's going to be doing her podcast. And we're going to put everybody in the basement. It'll be nice and cheerful down there, so that you can hear. So the sound is good. But she'll be down in the basement doing her podcast and interviewing. Her thing is the horror filmmakers and the sci-fi filmmakers that show up. So she'll be down there interviewing them. So, it's going to be just a good, with her going down on the mic podcast. So,
which is a fantastic podcast. She was there last year, and I was one of the interviews, and it was just awesome.
Oh, nice!
It's so much that, I mean, like Gauthier said, I didn't have a second to do anything.
That's right.
Yeah, you better be there earlier, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I'll let you guys go here. We've kept you long enough, but thank you, for coming on and letting everybody know more about this festival and your whole umbrella that you got going on, We Film Festival umbrella,
Mm.
which, anybody who's out in any of those areas, definitely reach out and talk to these people. They know what they're doing. They're very talented. They're very hard workers. They go above and beyond. That's all I can say is you guys go above and beyond what anybody else really I've seen has done. So yeah, and sadly I don't have a film to submit this year because I'm trying to get into the Chandler Film Festival, which is my city. So that's the only reason I didn't submit my film to your place first, because they won't take it if I submit it somewhere else before then.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're even going to take it or not, but I wanted to try to get my foot in since it's my city. I was born and raised here, so I kind of want to get my name in that area. So we'll see what that happens. But if not, I will be submitting it. I don't know if you'll play it or if you want to play it because it's a very messed up film. But I will be submitting it to you guys' film festivals later. I already submitted to one or two of them, I think.
Oh, Lebanon, I think, is what you told us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that.
There's room for all. There's room for all, and it doesn't hurt my feelings when when somebody says, "Hey, I didn't submit," because
Oh well, I'd rather submit it to your place first, but
yeah.
just because I adore your film festival. I adore that film festival. It's so much fun. And you guys do raffles and stuff too, so there's prizes to give. And
Yeah, we have a lot of cool raffles. People have just been coming out of the woodwork donating, and I am so grateful to the universe, because that raffle money pays for the film festival. It pays for the drink, the booze, and the popcorn, and the chocolate, and the caterer who feeds us. Every night.
And you have fantastic prizes too. I've won a couple, and they're pretty cool prizes. So.
Good. Yeah, I'm really grateful for everyone, the community stepping up and saying, "Here, Dineta, we've got this for your raffle." It's like I am so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got all the top filmmakers in Arizona always out too. So it's kind of cool if you go there, you get to see all the big name people from Arizona, in the indie world,
Yeah.
Not Hollywood stars yet, but some people are working on some of that, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But,
we're working on it too. It just takes a minute. That's all.
No, you guys are getting there. You guys are expanding so much. Yeah, it's. But anyway, so thank you for coming on, and we appreciate you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys and hang out and have a great weekend, and it'll be really fun.
Happy Thanksgiving, Gloria.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. I know I'm gonna rest up before the festival so I can have energy to make it through the weekend. I'm gonna rest up.
Well, I told them I told my work I wanted to take Friday off, and they go, "Oh, that's the day after Thanksgiving." They go, "Oh, we'll just give it to you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I don't even have to take it off." They just were like, "Oh,
nice.
Since it's the day after, we'll just give you the day off." I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool, thanks."
Yeah, we'll see you all soon.
See you all very soon. Have a good night.
Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See you soon. Bye.
All right, and that's going to do it for this episode of In the Mouth of Monster. As always, it's been a pleasure, and give us a like, share, and comment or whatever you can out there, and you follow us on all of our anywhere you find you get your podcast at. So anyways, that's it for us. So stay safe out there, monsters.
Bye. Glory to Movie Queen.